to the gem of the Supreme Buddha. The Buddha is my refuge every day. May my homage to the gem of the Supreme Dhamma. The Dhamma is my refuge every day. May my homage to the gem of the Supreme Sangha. The Sangha is my refuge every day. May my homage to the Supreme Triple Gem. The Triple Gem is my refuge every day. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Samanta cakkavalesu atra gachantu devata. Saddhammang munirajas sunantu saggamokkhadan. Dhammasavana kalo ayang bhadanta. Dhammasavana kalo ayang bhadanta. Dhammasavana kalo ayang bhadanta. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Honor to the Supreme Buddha, the Blessed One, the Exalted One, the fully enlightened one. Meritorious devotees, Dhamma friends, today you all are going to listen to sublime Dhamma expounded by the fully enlightened one, who is born to this world in order to rescue all the beings from this suffering sansaric life. The last words of the Supreme Buddha are Handadani bhikkhave amantayamivo vayadhamma sankhara appamadena sampadeta. That means all component things are impermanent. Therefore, strive on with diligence. That means don't postpone the things to be done in terms of wholesome actions. We have to engage in wholesome actions. We have to do meritorious deeds without putting off, postponing. So those are the last words of the Supreme Buddha, having enlightened and delivering approximately 18,000 discourses for 45 years. The summary of the words, the final words, great words, what is called diligence. We have to be diligent. So are you a diligent person, or you are always lagging behind without doing meritorious deeds? These days, what is manifested in the society is people do not want to engage in meritorious activities, wholesome activities. They want to always postpone this aspect. This aspect means what is essential for the betterment of mundane and supramundane development. We all have come to this world due to meritorious actions that we have done in the past. Fortunately, we were born in this country. Now, this country is a great country because the Supreme Buddha predicted that this is the land which helps to continue the dispensation for 5,000 years. Having stepped in this country, on this land for thrice, after the final, in the final session of the Supreme Buddha, on passing away bed, the Supreme Buddha especially advised to the god Sakra, O god Sakra, this is the land that my dispensation will be established. Therefore, you have to protect it. Patitissati devinda Lankayang mama sasanang rakkatu saparivarantang, like that. Therefore, God Sakra was near the passing away bed of the Supreme Buddha. Having listened to the great advice of the Supreme Buddha, he ordered one of the deities from the Tavatinsa heaven called, that one of the gods. So, he was called Upulvan, god Upulvan. So, Upulvan disguised as a hermit and came in the sky to Sri Lanka. Having given, after that he gave chanted, spirit chanted water and the chanted threads to Prince Vijay and the retinue in order to have the protection from the devils like Queenie and all. So, finally they could get protected themselves and they establish the kingdoms and the cities like Upatissagam, Anuradhagama and all that near Malwatu Oya, and that's how the human generation started in Sri Lanka. Then gradually it is spread to the entire country, and when Arhat Mahinda Thera arrived in Sri Lanka after the passing away of the Supreme Buddha, he could establish the dispensation properly. So, after 2306 years later of the passing away of the Buddha, Arhat Mahinda Thera arrived in Sri Lanka. By then, inhabitants, the inland inhabitants already established, because the situation was created for the human living in Sri Lanka. So, that is how this took place. We must know the history. Unfortunately, people do not know history these days. They know day-to-day things, just political and social and economic and sports, things like that, just merriment, enjoyment, things like that. They are not interested in the history. Now, history teaches us what happened and what's to be done. Therefore, especially the great Buddhist history in Sri Lanka should be studied, and it should be taught to our younger generation. Then they will catch up what are the important things in our history. Now, when we compare our history with American history and Australian history, they have very short period of time in terms of history. Now, 200 years history most probably for America, and Aborigines, Australian history started with Aborigines. Now, Sri Lanka has a great history, 2600 years of great history. But where are we now? Though we have a great history, now we are very, very, poor third world country. Other countries have become first world, second world countries. Why? They practice Dhamma. They practice Dhamma not knowing this is Buddhism. We know Buddhism, but we don't practice. We practice Hinduism and Brahmanism. For example, astrology and all that. We depend ourselves on horoscopes. We depend ourselves on planets. We depend ourselves on zodiacs. We depend ourselves on various, auspicious times. But for America, for Australia, for England, for Canada, for Germany, and for other Middle East countries, and for newly industrialized countries like Malaysia, Singapore, and Philippines, and especially Taiwan and Korea, they don't have those things. What they practice is, what Buddha taught without knowing it. Sri Lankan Buddhists practice not Buddhism but the other, wrong views. That's why it is very difficult for us to develop our country. Therefore, in terms of mundane level, in terms of supramundane level, the diligence is very important. Diligence is very important. Now, this is Vassana period. This is called Vassana period. Generally, in Sri Lankan context, the devotees go to the temple, always for almsgivings and worshipping and various other activities, religious activities. Unfortunately, we do see always some elderly, upasikas and elderly upasakas participating in these newcomers. The younger generation, they don't go, and middle-aged people, they don't go. They are interested in politics. Some are interested in music. Some are interested in what I call sports. But they are not interested in the religious activities. But one day we have to die. When we die, we will be born according to the accumulated merits, the wholesome actions. People are not interested in this. So Buddhas are born to this world in order to teach this. Now you have to understand this. That is why we are emphasizing. We are emphasizing always. So don't postpone doing merits, because one day we have to die. When we die, we have to sometimes be born, most probably be born in the hell. That is a very, very dangerous place. We have to suffer a lot. And we have to be born in the animal plane also. And we have to be born in the Preta world, ghost world. And we have to be born in Asura world, where those beings do not help for the meritorious actions. They are against Sura, the gods, divine beings. So Asura, once again, having done demerits, have to be born in the four hells. Therefore, we have to understand the validity and the importance of doing merits. So this period is very important period, the Vassana period. So as a family, you all have to go to temple these days. And it is argued out, some people not necessary to go to temple to do merits. That argument is not bad, and that is not false. One can engage in meritorious activities even at home. That is true. But when we go to temple, we get more encouragement, and we get the opportunity to listen to Dhamma sermons. We can improve our Dhamma knowledge. Now there are occasions where at least all 3 months Dhamma sermons are being delivered in temples. But the participation is poor. That is the problem. Therefore, you people, This is a very, very rare opportunity. Once again, we do not know that we can get this type of opportunity. Very rarely we get this opportunity to do merits. Because if we were born as human, animals, we cannot do merits. And pretas, we cannot do merits. If we were born as, uh, who are called beings in the hell, we cannot do merits. But this time, as long as we have been born as a human being, we get the opportunity to do merits. And we have to think about the death also. Our death. Now, we cannot believe about longevity. Sometimes we have to meet with accidents. Sometimes various diseases like dengue and cancer and heart attacks and various other diseases. When we are young, sometimes we have to face diseases. But all days, in those days, we were not under the influence of diseases as such. This type of threat was not there for us. Longevity was there. The qualities of the people were very good, humane qualities. But now humane qualities have gone down, kind of deterioration in the humane qualities. So longevity cannot be seen. People do not live long. At that time, people could live up to 120 years. Now, half of it, now it come down to half, at least, or I mean only 60 years sometimes, or less. Therefore, meritorious devotees, Dhamma friends, don't be hesitant to do merits. Now, merits are the ones which made us to be born in this human world, give all these facilities, just overcoming the what is called animal plane and ghost plane. Now, what are the merits that we can do? Offering. Now, this is the very good period to do merits. And meditation is the best merits that we can do. And also, meritorious devotees, Dhamma friends, what is called another very important merit is, observing Sil. Now, due to observing Sil that we came to this human world. In those days and in previous births, we have not violated the precepts. We have observed precepts fully. That's why we came to this world. But nowadays, our people take these, precepts complacently. Therefore, they do not want to practice them, protect them. They do not, they do violate. They do violate these precepts purposely sometimes, unconsciously. However, sila is very important. For laity, the basic merits that could be gained from practicing five precepts, and on poor days they can practice what is called eight precepts. So these are the merits in terms of sila. Sila is the control of body and speech. Now, we should not kill animals. We should not steal things. We should not engage in sexual misconduct by body. In terms of words or verbal discipline is we must not tell lies, or we must not tell carry tales, and we must not have frivolous talk and harsh speech. Then we control our words. So controlling words and controlling body is what is called sila, and it is definitely manipulated by our mind. Mind is the forerunner of everything. So mind gives encouragement and proper attention and proper knowledge to how that we behave properly according to the teachings of the Supreme Buddha. Therefore, this is a very good period in terms of our annual agenda. So 3 months time specifically dedicated for merits, meritorious activities in almost all temples in Sri Lanka and in the world. Don't miss out this opportunity. As a family, all the members must go to temples these days and engage in meritorious activities, accumulate merits as much as possible, tend to think that we have no lengthy time to live. We always hear about sometimes natural deaths, untimely deaths. Recently, I can remember one 26-year-old girl in our area met with an accident. She uh, knocked her bicycle against train in Kandana area and passed away at the age of 26. One of our Dayaka girls. So very, very, sad situation. The parents never expected such a thing to happen, and her friends never expected such a thing to happen, but it took place, unfortunately. Even, just like that, these days, various accidents, road accidents take place, and so many deaths take place. Sometimes assassinations, sometimes natural disasters. However, what is important to emphasize here is we have no much time to live. We have a very short period of time. Don't hesitate to do merits. Therefore, be diligent. The diligence is very, very important. That's why I mentioned at the very beginning of this Dhamma talk the final words of the Supreme Buddha. So be diligent and especially strive on with diligence. Therefore, meritorious devotees, Dhamma friends, having listened to this Dhamma sermon, you all start to do meritorious activities as much as possible and make your mundane life beautiful and develop and make your supramundane life develop, and specifically after the demise of this life, after demise, you get the opportunity to be born in a pleasurable plane and end this sansaric life within the regime of Gautama Buddha Sasana. May the noble triple gem bless with you all. ආකාසට්ඨා ච බුම්මට්ඨා දේවානාගා මහිද්దికා පුඤ්ඤන්තං අනුමෝදිත්වා චිරන් රැක්කන්තු ශාසනං ආකාසට්ඨා ච බුම්මට්ඨා දේවානාගා මහිද්దికා පුඤ්ඤන්තං අනුමෝදිත්වා චිරන් රැක්කන්තු දේශනං ආකාසට්ඨා ච බුම්මට්ඨා දේවානාගා මහිද්దికා පුඤ්ඤන්තං අනුමෝදිත්වා චිරන් රැක්කන්තු තං සදා. May you all be well and happy.